Hello there, lovelies. I promised that I would do it, and I'm doing it. I played the Dark Urge route with Astarion Romance, and here are my thoughts. Hopefully you won't have to sit through a 30-minute video this time, because there isn't really much to say other than... well... Dark Urge and Astarion is the canon couple. The end. Cue the credits. Okay, I'll talk about it, for the sake of the algorithm. Before I do, however, there will be a lot of spoilers, so watch it at your own risk. As I said, I played through the Dark Urge route, and I want to say this up front, Dark Urge Origin is freaking Knights of the Old Republic in D&D setting. Just like Darth Revan, you have a dark and criminal past, you have lost your memory, and your subordinate surpasses you, etc, etc. And just like how I played a Revan who returned to the light side, I played a Dirge who resisted her father's calling. Because I'm a faint-hearted simp, okay? I can't be evil. I just can't. I can't! So, my Taw and Dirge playthrough were mostly the same. Heck, even my Taw had the same appearance with just a new coat of paint, so... yeah.
How original.
The only difference was that there were a lot of dialogues, and some of them required very hard wisdom and saving throw checks in order to resist the urge. Or you can embrace it, of course, but that's another thing. Overall, it's the usual Baldur's Gate 3 experience. I will refrain from going off topic, despite how much I'd like to talk about Dark Urge themselves. This video is about Astarion and the romance, so... Before I begin though, I urge you to subscribe, please. You know, this video is about Dark Urge and... you know, never mind.
Good puns!
So Dark Urge is an interesting experience. Okay, yeah, the interactions are mostly the same with Astarion and the other companions, but things get weirder when your urges start kicking in. Weirdly enough, the first person who realizes something is very different and off about you is none other than Astarion himself. Which is so interesting to me. The others don't really care about it that much unless you're like, listen mate, cover your butt when I'm around because I can literally delete you. And then again, even if you warn them, everyone just glosses over the whole thing. They just think you have some anger issues or something. I have found the only two people who genuinely support you throughout the whole urgy slurgy journey are Astarion and Shadowheart. I guess birds of a feather flock together, huh? I mean, it makes sense because, you know, you have amnesia like Shadowheart and urges like Astarion, so yeah. Not sure if it was my game, but seriously, the only person who noticed something was wrong with me was Astarion. Like, as soon as he meets you, he says this.
You have a manner of irresistible desperation about you. I like it.
Not only that, after your first very bad urgy night, Astarion is the first one to tell you that you look sick.
Huh. You look rabid, pained, sick. You're spasming and twitching. You poor thing. Well, so far, my tadpole and I have been nothing but best friends. Something else is happening to you, isn't it? You have bouts of swooning and swaying, and your jaw is grinding like you're poised to chew off your tongue. Do take care of yourself.
From that point on, things go similar way with regular talk, relationship and dialogue-wise. I actually remember reading somewhere that what Astarion is to Taw is what Dirge is to Astarion, which I agree on some levels, but also not quite. Because we don't know much about Taw's past since it's mostly our own headcanon. But with Dirge, it's a bit different. Because you both have your own demons to deal with this time. With Taw, I feel like it's rather one-sided, Taw being the support system for Astarion and all. In this one, you basically support each other throughout the whole journey. The biggest dirge moment is when you refuse to kill Isabel and help people in Moonrise, which makes your butler come back, who forces you to take the life of your lover this time. This is peak Astarion moment, guys. Peak Astarion moment. Also, your butler mentions that Astarion fears everyone except you, who he should be fearing the most. This literally broke my heart, because I knew he had deep trust issues, but the fact that he also fears everyone is just so sad to me, since that is probably the case in a regular Tau playthrough too, so poor boy. Even though this scene being hilarious...
We ask before we bite.
It was also disturbing and super sweet at the same time. When you confess your urges and how you've been doing your damned hardest to resist him, he instantly gets you and doesn't even judge you for it. Considering what he is, he understands you on a personal level and promises to help you.
Whatever this is, you will get through it. And I'll be here to make sure you do.
When you talk to him the next day, he's joking about what happened, but he's obviously very concerned. He even tells you that you gave him something to care about. My god. After meeting Oren and realizing the truth of your nature, and then confessing to him that you are actually a ball spawn, he is disturbed by it at first, naturally, but suddenly realizes how similar you both are. How Cazador controlled him the same way Ball controls you. And he tells you to resist it, no matter what.
I don't know how you could beat him, but I do know this. You must try. The half-life of a mind-addled slave is worse than death. Don't become his. I wouldn't live another century as one for all the moonstones in Everesca.
From that point on, you both become two souls fighting for similar causes, overthrowing your masters. And despite your urges, he knows who you really are deep down. When you do his quest and try to break up with him because you're afraid you might hurt him, he won't let you go. And he even tells you he isn't afraid of you. I feel like this comes from a place that since nobody stood by him when he needed it, maybe he doesn't want the same thing happen to you. And he reminds you that he promised to help you.
I may be guilty of a bit of embellishment here and there, but I'm no liar. When I vowed we'd save you, we will save you. This little adventure of ours has taught me that we can't let our lives be ruled by fear, or else we never really live. I'm not afraid. Not of you. Not of your darkness, and not of our future.
Remember in my first video I mentioned that rather than fixing people, you can support them to get better, or you can heal together?
In case you don't, links down in the description.
So this here is one of the best examples of how healing together works. Because he gets you and you get him. You both are fighting for yourselves as well as for each other. This might be my fangirl brain, but when you do Astarion's personal quest and he tells Sebastian...
Trust me when I say I know the feeling, but you can resist the urge.
It kind of has a whole new meaning now that you're there. When you do resist the urge, for good, then being brought back to life by Withers, and tell Withers that you should have stayed dead for all the evil you did, Astarion immediately mentions that you saved him more times than he could count, and that you are no monster. Which makes me feel like it was also coming from a personal level too, as if to say to himself that he isn't a monster and neither are you.
He's right. You're no monster. You've saved me more times than I can count.
And when everything is done, and you resist the urge successfully, and you tell him that you're an empty slate and want a new life with him, he instantly agrees, which is so sweet.
I want you by my side as well. Now that you're free, we can craft a new future together.
So yeah, that's how Dirge and Astarion romance is. Honestly, there are more things to talk about, but it would be more about Dirge and Astarion in that case. Good Dirge and Spawn Astarion is a story about two people who did unimaginable things in their past against their will, and fight for their own minds and bodies against their puppeteers. We get to see more of Astarion's personality than anything in this route. I'm joking obviously when I said Dirge and Astarion is canon. I mean, whoever you romance will always be your canon. But their stories fit together so perfectly that I can't help but think that is the case here. Dark Earth is obviously an origin for a genocide run in Undertale terms, but I feel like resisting the urge is more satisfying and enjoyable, especially with a Spawn Astarion on your side. I actually kept thinking about this specific quote from Parthenax from Skyrim while I was playing the game.
No day goes by where I am not tempted to return to my inborn nature. Zimgrifhorvut se suliech. What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort?
It just explains the whole good Dirge playthrough better than anything in my opinion. So yeah, resist the urge, return to monkey! Thank you for watching though. I know I'm being inconsistent with these videos, well, because I had to play through the whole game, record the scenes and all. Moreover, editing is one heck of a pain I'm currently trying to learn to do efficiently. If you guys want more Baldur's Gate 3 character analysis, I'm definitely down for it because I love Baldur's Gate 3 characters. But aside from Baldur's Gate 3, since Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty is out, I may have to check out Cyberpunk again. I'm also planning a returning to Dragon Age after Baldur's Gate 3 video. Also, there's this whole redoing of my Tomb Raider stuff, and maybe I'll do a video about Legacy of Kain, Silent Hill, etc. I know I'm new to this, but hopefully I'll get better with each new video. Though I'll need to get out of this whole Baldur's Gate 3 brain rot first. I'm not sure when that'll happen though. Anyway, thank you for your support and I'll see you next time. Sayonara!